Now, next tonight, the University of Leicester is leading the way in tackling one of the biggest causes of climate change, deforestation.
Its multi-million-pound award-winning research has created a remarkable smartphone app. Essentially, it logs the loggers by alerting users of potentially illegal deforestation around the world.
As part of our series on climate change, Navtej Johal has been to see how a local university is providing global solutions.
Deforestation in the Amazon rainforest in Brazil, in Indonesia, and Colombia. It's happening all the time. It's estimated that by the end of this report, an area the size of around 70 football pitches will be lost to deforestation. But here at the University of Leicester, on these screens, Professor Heiko Balzter and his team are leading the fight against deforestation, one of the biggest contributors to climate change.
In terms of climate change, after fossil fuel burning and cement carbon emissions, deforestation globally, especially in the tropics, is actually the second most important factor in global warming.
That's because forests absorb carbon dioxide, and destroying them releases more of the greenhouse gas into the atmosphere. Which is where ForestSENTINEL comes in, an app created at the university's Centre for Landscape and Climate Research, which uses changes in satellite imagery to alert forest managers and landowners to illegal deforestation.
Quite often now people are finding out far too late that something is happening. They hear the chainsaws in the forest, but they can't quite locate where the loggers are in the field. So, by detecting logging events early, what we're hoping to do is to provide the means for policing the forest more effectively. What happens in Brazil, what happens in Indonesia does affect us here in the UK and in the East Midlands. So if somebody logs the Amazon rainforest, it will have an effect on global climate and it will somehow come back to haunt us in the Midlands. We can't just say, well, that's their problem. Because climate is global, we also have to think in terms of global responsibility.
And developed countries like the UK are the ones often driving deforestation. Our demand for meat and even palm oil is contributing to forests being turned into farmland.
Around 80% or so of the land that we use for agriculture is actually being used to graze animals and to grow food for factory farms. So if we reduce our meat consumption, we actually take the pressure off forests because we will need less land to feed people.
The app is currently in its final development stages, with plans for it to be available in 7 countries from Malaysia to Mexico. Results are expected in the next year or two, but in deforestation, every second counts. Navtej Johal, BBC East Midlands Today.